Everyone thinks that you need expensive items to make a luxury mansion in Bloxburg, but today I'm here to prove that wrong. Because for this entire build, I can only use cheap items. I need to somehow turn the cheapest items on this game into something that actually looks expensive and luxury. And I honestly don't know how I'm going to be able to pull this off. I want to make this house look as bougie as possible. Like, I want this house to scream luxury diva, but like luxury diva on a very limited budget. We are absolutely making this a 2-story home because rich people in Bloxburg are allergic to small houses. But I also don't want to make it too big because then it's going to be a struggle to actually fill in the space. The cheapest roof that we have is obviously the flat roof, so we don't really have much of an option there. The good thing is that most of the luxury houses that I've seen have a flat overhang roof, so I think we should be good. I of course also have to use the cheapest pillars and the cheapest wall trims to decorate this house, so this might end up looking a bit goofy. I'm actually so glad that all the textures are the same price because the textures are really going to save me on this challenge. I could use the ugliest, cheapest item there is and I can just recolor it, change the texture, and it'll be like it's brand new. So far, it's not looking too bad. I actually have a really good idea for the windows, but I don't know if it's gonna work out because we're gonna have to use some of the cheapest windows. I want to take these clear windows and try to recreate this arched opened view by resizing the windows that we have here. I want them to be very big so they can let out a lot of natural light in. For that arch, I'm going to use this half round window and just resize it. You can't tell me that that doesn't look nice. I'm going to go ahead and add some more around the house. I obviously can't use this broken door for a luxury home. So I was thinking, what if we use this clear sliding door and just make it look a bit more luxurious? We can even add that arch window at the top just so it can match the windows. I can't focus too much on the outside, so I'm just gonna add a footpath and some other cheap things to fill this place in. We don't have many gardening options, so I think we're just gonna have to use some tall grass for this. I do want to add some trees, but the cheapest tree we have is this ugly one, but it'll just have to do. Okay, for the inside layout, we have this huge entryway, the living room, the dining area, the kitchen, and this little office. Upstairs, we have our guest room, bathroom, and massive bedroom. A luxury mansion needs to feel expensive the second you walk in, so we're gonna start with the entryway. We're gonna need a hook rack, even though I think the coats might be too expensive. $300? Yeah, we're not adding that. Instead, I'm just gonna add a hat rack, some slippers, and the cheapest standing mirror that we have. I want to add one of those hallway carpets, and to do that, I'm gonna have to get this long carpet here. I want to use this cloudy gray right here. I'm trying to use these cool dark tones to make this house look more luxurious than it actually is. This is what our luxurious $1 million entryway looks like. And now it's time to move on into our living room. First things first, we need to get one of the cheapest fireplaces we have. I don't even think I'm going to be able to add a TV because TVs on Bloxburg are really pricey. As for the couches, I think that the only option that we really have are these simple ones, which are not too bad as long as I recolor them a different color. You know, somebody in my comments asked me if I could do a Tuscan 2000 style home. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, and I had no idea what it was. I actually had to go to Pinterest to look up what it was. From my understanding, it's like a Mediterranean house with like warm colors and lights, and I actually really want to do that, so maybe I'll do that on next week's video. You know what we're missing? We're missing some plants. I know that they're a little bit expensive, but we can use some of the cheaper ones. Like this floor one is really cute, and then we can just add a few more. We can use this simple council table as our coffee table, and we could just recolor it to make it look better. See, with that texture, now it looks like it's at least worth $100 more. And it makes our living room look pretty fancy if I do say so. For the dining room, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going to use the Simplicity dining table and I'm going to recolor it marble. Then I'm going to use some basic shapes to customize it and make it look more fancy. I basically added little corners with a different color to make this dining room look a bit more modern. I think that adds that little luxury touch that our dining room really needed. I think I'm gonna use these simple chairs because they're the cheapest and we're on a budget here. We're gonna add a few plants and some candles. As long as we're under $50,000, I think we can call this challenge a success. I think that's all I can do for our dining room, so we're gonna move on to our kitchen here. And you pretty much guessed it, we're gonna use basic counters. We are also gonna use the cheapest fridge and the classic stove. We gotta recolor that and make it fancy. I don't think we need to add too much into the kitchen. Just some simple decorations and we should be down. This is the only kitchen utensil we can afford, so we're just gonna have a singular spatula. And that is our kitchen done. Pretty simple, but it works fine. Now we can give our full attention to my downstairs office, which is pretty spacious. I was originally gonna make this into a downstairs bathroom, but I thought it was too big, so it's an office now. I want to make a little custom wall right here just to give this office a bit more character and luxury. So what I'm gonna do is grab a little basic shape and resize it a bit. We kind of want it to be as tall as the actual wall, so then it can be like a little bump out. Yeah, that actually looks really cute. Maybe we just need a few pillars to the side. Now we just need a desk, a carpet, and some office chairs. Honestly, I don't think this office looks half bad. Now we can finally move upstairs and begin our guest bedroom right here. For our bed, we can use this long one or this modern one, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. Literally just because it has the word modern in the name. We also need some bed stand tables, and I think I'm just gonna use the cheapest ones I find. Now we just recolor them to make them look more fancy. Now we just need a lamp, some plants, and some books. For our closet, I don't want to use these ugly racks, so I'm just going to use a wardrobe instead. A bit more pricey, but very necessary. How much do you guys think the plot value on this house is going to end up being? My guess is $40,000, but you guys should still leave your guess down in the comments. And if I'm closer, you have to subscribe. But if you're closer, you still have to subscribe. That is pretty much our guest bedroom. I'm just gonna add a little carpet and then we can move on to the bathroom. The bathroom is pretty simple. I don't think it's gonna take up that much money, so I'm just gonna add all the basics. We need a basic shower, a sink, a toilet, and a mirror. I also need some towels, but they are kind of expensive, so I think I'm just gonna use the cheapest ones I can find. Then we can just tack them up so we have plenty of them. Last but not least is finally our master's bedroom. I think we can definitely fit in a double bed in here. I don't know if I want to use this one or the modern one like in the guest bedroom. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the modern one, I think. I added this little blanket right here. I don't know if that's the least expensive one, but I couldn't find the others, so I just used that one. These wardrobes are pretty cheap but very cute. Now to fill in some space, I want a carpet, a little chair, some plants, and a little mirror. I'm also just gonna add some cheap pillars just to fill up those walls that look a bit empty. I think our bedroom is pretty much done. I don't really see what else I can add. I think it's looking very bougie already. Our cheap luxury mansion is finally complete and it comes to a total of $36,000. Honestly, I expected this to be a lot more pricier. I'm actually really proud. Now we can finally tour my $1 million house. that wraps up today's video, and if you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any video ideas, don't forget to drop them down in the comments. I would love to check them out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.